Hey folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. I am very happy that you're here today. Today we're going to be talking about the top cancer-fighting foods. Now, if you have anyone you know who died of cancer or has cancer, chances are you do, this is really an important show because it's not just for them, it's also for you. Because we want to be proactive when we talk about things like fighting all diseases, including cancer, not just reactive. Because if you look at the statistics on cancer treatments, they're not very good. A lot of medications are put out there, and most of them don't really extend your life when it comes to cancer. Now, they may shrink a tumor, they might relieve some symptoms, but overall, when it comes to extension of life or life expectancy, many of the drugs out there have zero response when it comes to that. And the reason they're on the market is because they have some type of benefit, like they'll shrink the tumor. But overall, it doesn't make you live any longer. So the best way to deal with this is going to be proactively, not reactively. Now, I'm not saying I have a cure for cancer. I'm not saying I treat cancer. I'm just saying this is what the research shows. A lot of this came off WebMD that shows these are the best foods that you can do and the foods to avoid. We're going to talk about them too. Now, if you have healthcare questions, you could always send me questions through our website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. A little bot pops up. If you have questions, I'm happy to answer your questions. Now, what you can do is search the site first. Type in the search bar whatever you're looking for, diabetes, heart disease, acid reflux, cancer. And chances are we've done a show or a podcast or an article or a blog on it. And you can get a lot of good information from that. And then if you still have questions, I'm happy to answer any questions you have. drjoe.com, just send it through the bot and I'll answer it for you. Also on the website, we have over 3,000 hours of podcasts. So you can search specific topics or you can just kind of go down a rabbit hole and spend some time. Top cancer-fighting foods. There's no single food that can prevent cancer. But the right combination of foods is what we're looking at. That's what's going to make the difference. At meal times, you want to strike up a balance. Now, there's something called the New American Plate, and it's out from the American Institute of Cancer Research. And what they're saying is you should have 2/3 of your diet plant-based and no more than 1/3 animal proteins. Now, I have a problem with that. And the problem is that if 2/3 are great and you really want to limit your animal protein, why don't we just not eat animal protein? That's the most logical thing to do. Unfortunately, when you look at research projects that are done on animal foods and should we limit animal proteins, one of them I read said, well, we shouldn't limit it because people like eating animals. That was the response. That's like saying, well, we shouldn't worry about cigarettes because people like smoking cigarettes. We shouldn't worry about alcohol because people like drinking alcohol. Don't worry about driving fast because people like driving fast. I mean, I saw this and it was a peer-reviewed article, and I said, you got to be kidding me. That's the rationale, because we know it can reduce your risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, obesity, mental decline, all that by cutting out animal proteins. And this study said the only reason they say we shouldn't cut out is because people like it. So I have a real tough time with that. So when it comes to cancer and the American Institute of Cancer Research, I certainly respect them. However, I respectfully disagree that we should have 1/3 of our plate with animal protein when we know that animal protein is one of the things we should limit. And so why not just cut it out? If a little bit is better, less is even better still, and none is going to be the best. So fighting cancer with color, the color of the rainbow. Fruits and vegetables are rich in cancer-fighting ingredients, so the more color you have, the more nutrients you're going to get. So if you have green and yellow and orange and red and purple, this is how you want to start looking at your plate. Red or beige cooked meat doesn't count. Okay, we're looking at colors of the rainbow. Beige is not a color of the rainbow. Those foods can help lower your risk in another way too, because they help maintain healthy body weight and they have a lot of fiber. And we talk about nutrients and vitamins and minerals and vitamin C and vitamin E and should we take omega-3 fatty acids? But the one thing very few people ever hear about is the fiber content. Everything you eat should have fiber in it. That's a different way of looking at how to eat. If you have something on your plate that doesn't have fiber, you probably shouldn't eat it. So if you have a piece of meat on your plate, not the best choice. Dairy products, not the best choice. Ice cream, not the best choice. Fiber, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds, absolutely. We talk about the extra weight. Carrying extra pounds increases your risk of multiple types of cancers, including colon, esophageal, and kidney. So eating a variety of fruits and vegetables, nuts, and seeds is really going to be the best. Now, if you're overweight, I used to be fat. I don't want to say overweight because that's a euphemism. I used to be fat. So when I was fat, I was a young child, and my goal was to be able to play stickball with my cousins. And so I started drinking a lot of water. I started eating fruits and vegetables. I stayed away from the bad foods. Again, I was 10, 11 years old. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew that these foods made you fat, so I'm not going to eat them. And it worked. And I've maintained a healthy weight the rest of my life since then. But if you want to lose weight, this is not the show for that. Go to our website, drjoe.com, and just type in weight loss in the search bar. And we did a real good show on weight loss, all the different techniques, what it really is. It's not about your stomach. It's about your brain. And a part of your brain called the hypothalamus that makes you feel hunger, and how balancing the hypothalamus helps you control your appetite. Cravings, we talk about things you can do to break cravings, what to have in your house, what not to have in your house. And then we also have a 21-day jumpstart program that we have on the website. Just type in 21-day, and I think it'll come up. And it's a weight loss protocol for 21 days where we really super concentrate nutrients. We get you eating the right foods. And with that, I find that you can actually reset your hypothalamus, reset the brain, and reset those cravings. And once you're able to do that, then it's a lot easier to eat better and make better decisions. So all that's on the website, drjoe.com. Let's start with breakfast. Naturally occurring folate, it's a B vitamin, and can help prevent against, not always prevent, cancer such as colorectal and breast cancer. Now, you can get it from eating fruits and vegetables, melons, strawberries, oranges. So the more fruits and vegetables you eat, the more folate you're going to get. And that's going to help as part of a protocol for colon, rectum, and breast cancer. Now, I take Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source every day. And by the way, you should too, because it's the minimum supplements I suggest people start their day with. It's 2 powders. I take a scoop of each. I mix it with coconut milk, almond milk. You can do water if you want to. Shake it up in a jar, drink it, blend it with a frozen banana, some frozen berries. Frozen berries are great too because they have other nutrients in them. But it's super high concentrated fruits and vegetables in a powder form, prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, complete multivitamin, omega-3 fatty acids, alkalizing the system with minerals. When I created it, I thought, what else can I put in here that's going to be a excellent protocol for people across the board? And so I can't imagine not having Super Greens and Essential Source every day, and it's also a good source of folate. So other folate-rich foods, aside from breakfast foods, asparagus are great, beans, sunflowers, green leafy vegetables, romaine lettuce. The best way to get it is by eating fruits and vegetables. So there's so many benefits to eating fruits and vegetables. Now, this is interesting. When I did the research for this topic, this show, I did the research and I said, okay, what foods are going to be best for cancer? Because again, I've lost my sister and a friend of mine, and other people too, but these people are very close to me. And so I looked and I saw the pattern develop. And it's the same pattern I see develop every time I research a disease. It's the exact same pattern. And that pattern is more plants, less animal products. None of the foods that I can find anywhere, and all the research I did for this show, none of those foods could I find anywhere were alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, or artificial sweetener. In fact, those were all listed as the things not to eat. So years ago, I came up with the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. If you're regular to the show, you know my little play on words. The 7 deadly sins of nutrition are alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. So when I look at heart disease, diabetes, cancer, constipation, obesity, ADD, lupus, autoimmune diseases, nowhere in any of the research that I've done does alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, artificial sweetener show up as recommended dietary protocols. So years ago, the insight was there to say these are the ones across the board we should all cut back or cut out. At least cut back. I don't like using the excuse, well, I like it, as an excuse as to why you want to do something that's bad for your health. Liking it is not scientific evidence-based information that I can say to all my patients. I know you like it, so it's okay to do it, not when it comes to your health. So more fruits and vegetables, great sources of folate, great source of fiber, great source of phytonutrients, helps cancer, heart disease, diabetes, cancer, obesity, name the disease. There's going to be benefits to a plant-based diet. You want to pass up on a deli counter. And if I have time today, I want to talk about how dangerous meat actually is and how one bologna sandwich. How much time in your life does one bologna sandwich take off your life? And you'll be surprised to hear it's the same as smoking 2 cigarettes. Pretty interesting. I'll try to get to that later on today. But you want to pass up on especially the processed meats, bologna, ham, hot dogs. If you cut them out, you lower your risk of colorectal and stomach cancers. Also, eating meats that have been preserved by smoking and salt raises your exposure to chemicals that can affect heart disease and diabetes and cancer and everything else, the biggies. And the more meat you eat, any type of meat, you stimulate something called the mTOR pathway. Don't worry about it, stands for something, mTOR. And the mTOR pathway is the beginning of cells becoming cancerous. Don't stimulate the mTOR pathway with fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. You do stimulate it with meats, any type of meats, not just deli meats, but all meats. Tomatoes are great. Now, I'm Italian. I like my tomatoes. And tomatoes have something in it called lycopene. And that's a pigment that gives tomatoes its red color. And some studies have linked eating tomatoes to reduce the risk of several types of cancer, including prostate. Studies also suggest that processed tomato products, such as sauce and tomato paste, increase the amount of lycopene. Now, normally I say eat more raw foods, but when it comes to tomatoes, when you cook them, the lycopene becomes more active. So there's a pro and a con to eating raw tomatoes versus cooked tomatoes. So a simple way to do it is just mix it up. Have some of both. And I make the best tomato sauce in the world, by the way. I learned it from my father, who learned it from his mother. And if you don't know what to eat, on our website, the first book I ever wrote was called Eating Right for the Health of It. And we have over 200 recipes in there. And the recipe for my tomato sauce is in there. So it's on the website, drjoe.com. Teas are very good. I want you to drink more tea. Now, the evidence is a little spotty. It's not saying that it's going to cure cancer. But again, we're talking about things you can eat. Because the biggest question I get is, well, Dr. Joe, because people whine when they talk to me. Dr. Joe, if I can't eat alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener, what can I eat? And so this is what we're talking about today. What can you eat that has been shown to be beneficial? Now, if you go to our website and type in, so what can I eat? You have a whole hour of me yapping about breakfast, lunches, dinners, snacks, stuffing your pantry, kids, holidays, everything. And, oh, by the way, on our website, we have over 3,000 hours of podcasts. The cost to subscribe to all those podcasts, in fact, you don't even need a subscription because it's absolutely free. We offer all this information to you, my listeners, absolutely free, drjoe.com. And if you're a podcast junkie, just go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. And you have access to a lot of podcasts there as well. And they're all free. People keep telling me I should charge for them. I don't want to. Not yet. Maybe I will someday. But in laboratory studies, green tea has been shown to slow and prevent development of cancer such as colon, liver, breast, and prostate. Also, similar effects on lung tissue and on skin. Some longer-term studies, tea is associated with lower risk of bladder, stomach, and pancreatic cancers. More research needs to be done. I'm not saying it's a cure, but lots of herbal teas out there that you can do. I drink tea every single day. I can't imagine why you wouldn't either. Green tea seems to be the one that has the most research behind it. So it does have a little caffeine, though. So if you can't do caffeine like me, I can't do green tea. Other foods that you can eat. How about grapes? Grapes, especially the purple and red ones, contain something called resveratrol. Resveratrol is a wonderful antioxidant, has anti-inflammatory properties. And in laboratory studies, it's been shown to prevent the kind of damage that can trigger the cancer process in cells. So again, cells have to be damaged to mutate to become cancer cells. The resveratrol can help stop that damage from occurring. Now, it's not enough evidence to say that eating grapes is going to solve your problem or treat cancer. But that being said, you shouldn't be eating grapes unless they're organic. If they're organic, they produce resveratrol. Now, why is that? Grapes produce resveratrol when they're exposed to fungus. So the grape is being attacked by a fungus, and it starts to produce resveratrol to keep itself healthy. It kills off the fungus. Well, if you eat non-organic grapes, they've been sprayed with a fungicide in most cases. And if it's sprayed with a fungicide, the grapes aren't being exposed to fungus, so they don't have to produce resveratrol. So you're losing a lot of your health benefits. So grapes are one of those foods you definitely always want to do organic. Now, you shouldn't drink wine. Because you think, well, Dr. Joe, I like my liquid grapes. No, not a good choice. Cancers of the mouth, the throat, the larynx, the esophagus, the liver, and the pancreas are all linked to drinking alcohol. Alcohol can also raise the risk of cancer of the colon and the rectum. So you name the cancer, chances are alcohol is not good for it. Now, the American Cancer Society recommends against drinking alcohol. And they say if you do no more than 2 drinks a day for men, 1 drink a day for women, women have higher risk of breast cancer. Again, I'm going to strongly disagree with the American Cancer Society. You shouldn't be able to do something just because you like it when it comes to health. So I understand that they're, straddle a line, as the old song goes. They're straddling the line, and they're trying to keep the public happy and not scare the public off, but I'm trying to scare the public off eating bad foods. I don't see a reason to drink. I haven't had a drink since I was 28 years old. I had a glass of champagne. I was in Anguilla, which is a little island in the Caribbean, and I had a glass of champagne, and I felt awful. And I said, why am I doing this? I never liked drinking. I never enjoyed it. Even in high school, we'd go out drinking, and I wouldn't drink, and I never liked it. And finally, I came to the realization that there's no reason why I should be drinking. Peer pressure didn't work. It tried for years, and it didn't work. And then I thought, is it worth it? That was the first time I ever thought that thought, is it worth it? And the answer was a resounding no. So if it's worth for you to do the drinking, absolutely drink it. But there's never a reason why it's worth it. Because you increase your risk of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, brain malfunction, Alzheimer's, speed up the aging process, obesity, liver damage, kidney damage, dehydration, high blood pressure. Just because you like it is not really a good excuse to do something if your concern is to be healthy. If your concern is not to be healthy, then you can ignore what I just said. Doesn't matter. But I don't know anyone who doesn't want to be healthier. I've been in practice 38 years. Patients come to me all the time and they say, Dr. Joe, I want to be healthier. Maybe I'm not willing to do what it takes to be healthier, but I want to be healthier. So you have 2 options. You can either be healthy or not. Those are your choices. And it's not hard to be healthy, folks. It's so easy. And it's really extreme to be sick. Well, Dr. Joe, that's a little extreme, cutting out all your alcohol. No, I think that having liver cancer is extreme. I think having fatty liver is extreme. I think being on medications that you don't need to be taking if you're eating a healthy diet is extreme. I'm not sure cutting out a beer is extreme. So cutting out the alcohol is a good idea. Now, you also, like I said, we talked about your increased risk of esophageal cancer. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, burping, gas, bloating, you are increasing your risk of esophageal cancer. Because the acid from the stomach can come up through the esophagus, through the diaphragm into the esophagus, and it can start to eat away at your esophagus. So if you have these things, you can take pills, and pills will certainly reduce the symptoms of heartburn. However, they don't fix the cause. The cause is the stomach pushing up against the diaphragm and coming up into the esophagus. In our office, I've trained all my doctors to do this. You can take your stomach and physically pull it back down away from the diaphragm. When you pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm, many times you can fix the cause of the esophageal cancer. So if you have a health problem, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches, numbness, tingling, car accident, acid reflux, digestive issues, nutritional concerns, the best thing to do is just make an appointment to come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. My team of doctors would love the opportunity to be your team of doctors. The biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? Why did I suffer for so many years? I had just had a patient the other day, severe acid reflux. Been to all the doctors. He went to his gastroenterologist, and she said, the problem is not in your digestive system. I believe it's coming from the nerves in your spine that go to your digestive system. I want to meet this woman. This woman has the understanding of what health is all about. The woman is the doctor. And so she said, come see a chiropractor. He said, of course, I thought of Dr. Joe. And so he came in and I talked with him. And he hadn't eaten in 6 weeks, just smoothies. He can't even eat. His stomach is so bad. After we treated him, he stood up, tears to his eyes. He said, my stomach doesn't hurt. It's the first time in 6 weeks I can actually stand up without doubling over in pain. So stop suffering. Come see us. Make an appointment, drjoe.com. Normally, the first visit is $712. What we've done for our listeners is we've reduced that to $299. That's an insane price. That's exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, the follow-up visit, going over your x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Now, Don't come in unless you're serious about wanting to get well. I have patients come in all the time say, Dr. Joe, I wasn't ready 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, 30, 40 years ago when I heard you first speak. I'm ready now. So if you're ready, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, for you, your friends, and your family, drjoe.com. Make an appointment. Love to see you. You can call us from the website. Book it right online. We accept almost every insurance out there too, so my staff can give you information on that, drjoe.com. And please, if you're ever in a car accident, if the car's damaged, you're damaged, come see us immediately. Don't scam. Don't go to these scam doctors. Don't wait too long. Just come see us. We'll show you how to build an auto accident case and how to document it. drjoe.com. Other things we can do that can help prevent cancer. Water and other fluids. You have to drink a lot of water, especially for bladder cancer. Now, you don't know what kind of cancer you're going to get until you get it. It's spinning the wheel of cancer. Click, 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 click. Oh, you came up with prostate cancer, colon cancer, esophageal, thyroid. Generally speaking, there's a protocol for all of them, and that's what we're talking about today. No guarantees, no promises. This is just being proactive. Reducing your risk is what we're talking about here. We talked about fruits and vegetables. Beans are great. They contain several chemicals called phytochemicals or phytonutrients that can protect your body's cells against damage that can lead to cancer. In lab studies, substances in beans slow down tumor growth and prevented tumors from releasing substances that damage nearby cells. Once again, what does it go back to? The plant-based diet. drjoe.com, type in the search bar, so what can I eat? There's your first lesson in plant-based diets. I want to talk about cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cabbage, cucumbers, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, kale. These are excellent. They taste great, and they have components in them that may help your body defend against cancer such as colon, breast, lung, and cervical cancer. Lab research is promising. Human research studies are still going on. But also cruciferous vegetables for us guys, women, you can close your ears for this. It doesn't pertain to you. We men produce something called testosterone. Well, women do too. But testosterone, as we get older, converts into estrogen. That's how men produce estrogen. They get it from converting testosterone into estrogen. Many times as we get older, we're producing testosterone. We're just converting it over into estrogen fast, and then it's not testosterone anymore. And there's a chemical in your body called aromatase. And aromatase converts the testosterone into estrogen. That's why women will be on what's called aromatase inhibitors, because they have testosterone, and we want to lower their estrogen levels because estrogen can increase cancer. And so we put women on aromatase inhibitors. We can put men on aromatase inhibitors too, but nature has an answer for that. And that would be cruciferous vegetables. Again, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, bok choy, kale. We put it in super greens and essential source, some. You still need to eat it. And then there's also something called quercetin, which we put in our nitric oxide supplement. And quercetin also acts as aromatase inhibitor to prevent testosterone from converting into estrogen. So as a man, it's important that we take supplements like super greens and essential source. And I also recommend nitric oxide because it opens up your blood vessels. It increases circulation to your brain, your sex organs. But we also add the quercetin in there that acts as an aromatase inhibitor for both men and women. It's not a cure, but this is, again, preventive things you can do. So I take several supplements a day, but I certainly recommend everybody take super greens and essential source as a minimum supplement. And then I add nitric oxide as well, unless you have low blood pressure. If you have low blood pressure, don't take nitric oxide. And then, of course, I take omega-3 fatty acids. I take B-complex, adrenal support, digestive enzymes. All the supplements we talk about are on the website, drjoe.com. You can book appointments to come see us at drjoe.com, send us questions. Great source of information, the website, drjoe.com. Hey, folks, tell your friends about the show. Book an appointment to come see us at drjoe.com. Tell your friends about the show. We'll be right back. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Glad you're with us today. We're talking about a really hot topic, foods that can help fight cancer. Now, this is not a cure. This is not a guarantee, but this is being proactive. And this is so important that you consider being proactive with your health because every day, patients come in my offices. I've been doing this for 38 years. And they say, I wish I'd taken better care of myself. I didn't realize that doing this would cause that. Wow, I should have listened to you years ago. I hear it all the time. So being proactive is easy. And the nice part about what I'm teaching you today is that it's cheaper than anything you're doing right now. So inflation, economy issues, job issues, whatever it is, Everybody wants to save money. It's healthier for you and less expensive. If it was healthier and more expensive, I'd tell you to do it anyway. But it's healthier and less expensive, like chiropractic care. Chiropractic care is the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain in most cases. Why would you go any other route than chiropractic if it's the most effective, least expensive? It might be less effective, more expensive, which is the only other option there is. Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense to me. So if you want to come see us, drjoe.com, we'd love to be your doctors. All right, other things we can do. We're talking about the foods that work real well to help prevent cancer. This is the medical research that's out there. And everything on the list was plant-based. It was fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Everything. There was no animal products. There was no meat. There wasn't drink more milk. There wasn't eat more bread. Everything was fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds. Dark green leafy vegetables, mustard, kale, chicory, spinach, chard, loaded with fiber, loaded with folate, loaded with something called carotenoids. They help prevent against mouth, larynx, pancreas, lung, skin, and stomach cancer. Again, it doesn't matter what cancer I list as what it's specifically good for. It's good for you, and it can lower your risk. Not totally eliminate, but lower your risk. Spices are great. Curcumin, which is turmeric, it's an active ingredient in turmeric, is wonderful. Turmeric is a supplement that's on our website, drjoe.com. I take turmeric every single day. It has so many benefits, and it seems like every time I turn around. In fact, I literally put together a whole show on the benefits of turmeric. And I thought that might be boring. You might get bored out of your mind, me saying cancer and heart disease and diabetes and cancer and skin issues and anti-inflammatory, brain function. You'd get bored if I just went through a list like that. So I haven't done the show. I kind of just put it aside and left it there. Maybe I'll do it someday. I don't know. But anyway, turmeric, you can use it as a spice. You got to use a lot of it to get a benefit. Indian food has a lot of turmeric in it. And I love Indian food. But I take it as a supplement every day. It's great. And it's wonderful anti-inflammatory, so I don't know why you wouldn't be taking it. The way you cook your food is really important. If you fry, grill, and broil, especially meats at high temperatures, they cause chemicals like heterocyclic amines. Heterocyclic amines are the char marks when you grill things and fry things. And those char marks, the high protein fat content in meat, when it meets these high temperatures, creates a chemical called heterocyclic amines, which are known carcinogens. Now, if you're broiling meat or you're frying meat, barbecuing meat, and you smell that the smell that comes off the coal or whatever it's cooking in the air, those are called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Also, highly carcinogenic. I don't know what it's going to take to get you to realize that this is not the best choice of foods for you. I like it. We talked earlier. One of the reasons that there are not warning signs on hot dogs and hamburgers like there are in cigarettes, although the risk is very similar. I'm going to cover that today. I think I'll have time for it. Is that people like it. And if we said you can't do it, people would get mad. Well, as our job as parents, my job as a doctor is not to have you like me. It's to give you the best information and advice I can give you. In the process, most people do like us because we help you. And I remember when I went to college. When I left for college, my mother said to me, God, I miss her. My mother said to me, people are going to fall in love with you because you help them. She says, I remember Dr. Waltman, the doctor that delivered you and your sister. She said, when he delivered you, I fell in love with him, not a sexual love, but I fell in love with this man who brought my children into the world. And she said, so people are going to fall in love with you because you help them. And I've enjoyed that from my patients throughout all the years because we do get pretty amazing results. And most people are very happy with the results they get in our offices. And it's a wonderful thing to have that much admiration coming to you because you've done something that nobody else has been able to do for them in the past. And so it's a lot of fun. We all like our jobs, my doctors and I, and my staff. So my job isn't to say, hey, listen, if you're going to eat meat, it's okay to grill it once in a while, have meat. My job is to tell you the truth. And so as your caretaker, as your doctor, as your teacher, I'm just going to give it to you straight. What you do with this information is totally up to you. Now, here's the other thing, too. As I backpedal a little, you don't have to do it all at once. You can take baby steps. Listen to So What Can I Eat on our website, drjoe.com. Just type it in the search bar, So What Can I Eat? And say, I'm willing to do this. Okay, give it a week. Listen to the show again. I'm willing to do this. I'm willing to do this. And eventually, you're going to be healthy. Little tiny baby steps get you where you need to be. And so it's not hard to do this. It's really easy. It's less expensive than anything you're doing right now. There's no downside to it. The food is delicious. It's better for the environment. There's nothing wrong with eating well except one downside. The bad food tastes good, which goes back to the medical research that I saw that said the reason we don't take meat off the market or put warning signs on it is because people like it. So to me, that's not a good enough excuse. Eating a lot of berries, strawberries, raspberries, phytochemical called ellagic acid. And that's an antioxidant that helps fight cancer in several ways, including deactivating certain cancer-causing substances and slowing the growth of cancer cells. There is not, though, enough proof to say anything's a cure for cancer. I keep saying that in case you're tuning in at different points. Another reason why I recommend to almost all people Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. It's fruits and vegetables in a powder form, prebiotics, probiotics, digestive enzymes, complete multivitamin. The things in there, folate, are shown to help fight disease. It's not going to fight all disease. It's not a cure-all. But that's why I've done it. I put it in a powder form. You take a scoop a day. I can't make it any easier for you. It's so inexpensive for what you're getting. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. And it tastes great. No downside to it. Travels well. I just leave it out on my counters. On my kitchen counter, I wake up in the morning, I look forward to mixing up my Super Greens and Essential Source. Like some people look forward to coffee, I look forward to Super Greens and Essential Source. Some nitric oxide to get my blood flow and get my brain working. Give me some quercetin. I take vitamin D for my immune system, for brain function. I take omega-3 fatty acids as an anti-inflammatory for brain function. B-complex, because the B vitamins help the nervous system work better. Adrenal support, men's hormone support. I'm getting older. I had a patient the other day, and I said something about our age, and she said, "You're not even close to my age." And I told her how old I was, and she cursed. She said, "No blanking way." And then she caught herself and embarrassed. I said, "You don't have to worry about it. I used to be a truck driver in New York. You don't have to worry about offending me." And she said, "There's no way you're my age." And I said, "I am. I promise you." And she was blown away by it. So if this lifestyle didn't work and keep me younger than the calendar says I am, I wouldn't be doing it. I have goals. My goal is to live as long as I possibly can, as well as I possibly can. And that's why I give you this information. So again, Super Greens and Essential Source, minimum supplements, nitric oxide, circulation. If you have high blood pressure, I have to give you a warning. It may lower your blood pressure, and in combination with the medication, may make the blood pressure too low. So monitor your blood pressure if you're taking nitric oxide, and if it gets too low, you then have to maybe go back to your primary care doctor and say, "Hey, doc, I'm taking nitric oxide. My blood pressure's getting better. I'm doing what Dr. Joe said. I'm eating right. I'm getting my spinal care. I'm getting my stomach worked on because the stomach nerve can affect blood pressure. And my blood pressure is down to normal or below normal. Can I maybe cut back on my meds or cut out my meds?" Any doctor worth his salt is going to say absolutely. And the good doctors will say, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it. Because there's no reason why. The doctors don't make any money selling drugs. They tell you, they write a prescription, they go off, they don't make any money doing it. So they don't care if you take the drugs or not. And the better results you get, the more likely you are to refer to them. So from a business standpoint, they would love to get you off your meds. So anyway, I digress. Super Greens and Essential Source. We talked about the berries, blueberries, blackberries, loaded with antioxidants. They have free radicals that fight antioxidants. So antioxidants fight the free radicals, So there's tons of reasons why berries should be part of your diet. A lot of people, myself included, when they take their Super Greens and Essential Source in the morning, I have a little magic bullet, whatever small blender you have. You can put in some frozen berries or fresh, whip it up, and give you an extra boost with the Super Greens and Essential Source. Different flavor, too. You could try strawberries, blackberries. I use frozen bananas sometimes. And just frozen berries are pretty cheap for what you're getting. So you can do frozen organic blueberries, frozen organic strawberries, pineapple if you want to. And when I whip it up with the frozen fruits, it kind of makes it a little smoother and creamy and smooth. So I like it. And the big thing you have to cut out, aside from the meats and the dairy products, is the sugar. It may displace other nutrient-rich foods because you're eating the sugar instead of the plums or the pears, whatever it is. It increases your calorie content. It contributes to overweight and obesity. And excess weight is also a cancer risk. So when I have my sweet tooth cravings, what I do is I'll have a piece of fruit. I'll have a second dose of Super Greens and Essential Source. So I like my sweets. I'm like you. I like my sweets. And so it helps. Now, another thing, if you have crazy sugar cravings, a trick you can do is have something sour. So you're having a crazy sugar craving. There's a supplement you can take called Gymnema, Gymnema. If you send me an email, I'll send you the link. It's through a company called Standard Process. And if you go to our website under clinics, you'll see a link to Standard Process website. You can go to their website through mine because you can't get there on your own. They won't sell to the public. I'm giving you access to my account is what I'm doing. And you can order Gymnema. Gymnema stabilizes blood sugar and does wonders for cutting sugar cravings. If you don't have your Gymnema yet, because you're still ordering it, you can eat something sour. Have a pickle. And that sour oftentimes breaks that craving for sugar. So if you have a pickle, which is salty and sour, it breaks that craving for sweets. So just a fun little trick I used to do when I was overweight, and it worked real well. It helped cut those sugar cravings. So I promise you I'd talk about this. We talked about meat and cancer, but how much does meat really affect how long you live? So this is some good studies. Global burden of disease. Diets high in processed meats like ham, bacon, hot dogs, lunch meat, and sausage are killing more than 100,000 people a year, mostly due to heart disease, but also cancer and diabetes, which ties into what we're talking about today. Results in millions of healthy years of life being lost every year around the world. Now, we're all going to die, but we're talking about healthy quality years here. And it doesn't take much. A union of concerned scientists estimated that if Americans, ready for this, would cut down to 1 ounce of meat, cut down to an ounce a week, thousands of annual cancer deaths would be averted, and that's on a population scale. But what does it have to do with you? We always talk about thousands of people could be saved if we just cut down to 1 ounce of meat a week. I say cut it all out, but they're being generous. A reduction in red meat and processed meat consumption is associated with a 13% lower risk of premature death. What does that mean? What does 13% lower risk of death actually mean? To get a better handle on it, I'm going to introduce you to a new word today. It's called microlives. MICROLIVES. This is cool, and I like sharing cool stuff with you when I come across it. Acute risks, such as riding a motorcycle or going skydiving, may result in an accident. A good way to compare such risks is with a unit known as a micromort, and that's defined as 1 in a million chance of sudden death. So a micromortality, 1 in a million shot. A microlife aims to make all these chronic risks comparable to show you how much life you would lose in time. So not just 1 in a million shot. If I do this, how much time will be taken off my life? So a microlife is defined as 30 minutes of life expectancy. So if you have 1 microlife, you lose 1 microlife, you're going to lose 30 minutes of life. So what does that all mean? Somebody in their 20s, let's say a 22-year-old man, 26-year-old woman, have an average about 57 years left. That's pretty scary, isn't it? 69, they're talking about the average, 79, I'm sorry, is the average life expectancy. So that's 20,000 days, 500,000 hours, or 1 million half hours. So you have about 1 million microlives, 1 million half hours in a lifetime. So what does that all mean again? So how do we define that microlife as a reduction of 1 half hour of your life? What does that cost a 30-year-old man? Smoking 2 cigarettes, drinking 2 pints of beer, or every day that you're 11 pounds overweight is 1 microlife. So you smoke 2 cigarettes, you lose a half hour's worth of life. You eat 2 pints of beer, drink 2 pints of strong beer, a half hour of your life. Every day you're 11 pounds overweight, half hour of life is gone. So it's helpful we compare it to, so you have something physical to look at. So drinking a pint of strong beer cuts life expectancy by, again, a microlife. You wouldn't smoke 2 cigarettes and think it was fine. But many people have 2 pints of beer a day and think it's fine. Many people are 11 pounds overweight and think it's fine. Well, Dr. Joe, I wouldn't smoke 2 cigarettes a day. Well, it's the same equivalent. Now, you can improve or extend your life. For example, eating at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day can add an average of 4 years onto the lifespan for a man and 3 years for a woman. That's up twice as many, and that's adding years to your life. And then what about exercise? If you exercise 20 minutes, you can add a half hour to your life. That's an hour of life, and that's 2 microlives. So just by working out for 20 minutes a day, and you don't have to sweated at the gym or sweating to the oldies. Just get up and move. Go for a walk for an hour if you need to. Listen to our shows on exercise we've done. Clean the house, mow the lawn. This all counts as exercise, and you can add 2 microlives or 2 half-hour units to your life. So if you exercise, you get a 3-to-1 return on investment. So if you exercise for 20 minutes, you get 60 minutes to your life. So that's a real good investment. So all you have to do is work out 20 minutes a day, hard, or even just walk for an hour. That's about the equivalent of 20 minutes a day. And you're going to add an hour to your life. Not a bad return on investment. Now, what does that mean in the terms of meat? I want to understand microlives. A microlife's a half hour's worth of time, good or bad, adding or subtracting a microlife. So for each hamburger you eat, you lose 1 microlife. You take 30 minutes off your life. So 1 burger appears to be equal to 2 cigarettes, 2 pints of beer, or being 11 pounds overweight. Now, it wouldn't occur to you to light up twice a day. I wouldn't smoke, Dr. Joe. It's bad for you. But many of you will have a burger. So instead of having a meat, have a bean burrito instead. Have a salad. Have some tofu. Have some stir-fried vegetables. If you don't know what to replace your meat with, go to my website, drjoe.com, and just type in the words, "So what can I eat?" and listen to the show we did. There's never been a time in my life, and I've been around for a long time, there's never been a time in my life where I've missed a meal because I eat a plant-based diet. I've been on cruises. I've been to lectures. I've been flown. Before the pandemic, companies would hire me to come in and do workshops on wellness because they realized their return on investment for paying me to come out and flying me there and putting me up in a hotel, their return on investment for their excitement of their employees was exponential. They'd invest whatever money was to get me out there, and their return just for their productivity, just the employees talking about having me come out and lecture, was worth their return on investment because they got excited about their job, got excited about their health, made some health changes. And so I've never missed a meal anywhere I've ever been. So you don't have to worry about, Dr. Joe, there's nothing to eat. Have a bean burrito instead of a beef burrito. Something as simple as that. Now, processed meats are even worse. There's a couple of equivalent ways you can look at it. Imagine 2 people who are identical in every way, except one eats around 50 grams of processed meats a day, and that's about a large sausage or a hot dog. That's not a whole lot. Or a few bacon strips even. And the other one eats no processed meat. Eating that single serving of processed meat every day is expected to take 2 years off the length of your life. So you like to have meat every day, you can expect to lose 2 years off your life. Now, that's 2 years less with your loved ones, with your kids, with your grandkids, with your spouse. 2 more years of leaving the people behind mourning you. Now, I've lost several people in my life. I come from a big Italian family. I've been to a lot of funerals in my life. You never get over the loss of somebody who you care about. You might heal. You might process it. You might be able to deal with it better. But you're never over that loss. And so why would you want to take 2 years and put that burden on your kids, your grandkids, your spouse, your loved ones, when all because you want to have a hot dog every day? Doesn't make any sense to me. Eating a bologna or ham sandwich every day, just 2 slices of deli meat, is expected to take around an hour of life off your life. And if you do that every day, imagine how that adds up. I wanted a bologna sandwich. That's 1 hour, 2 microlives, 1 hour or less of my life. I don't know. Just not worth it to me. So eating 50 grams of processed meat a day is expected to add take off 2 years, make you 2 years older, basically. So if you're 40 years old and you're eating meat every day, processed meats especially, you really have the same health issues as a 42-year-old. If you're 60, a 62-year-old. So there's really no sense in doing that. So in summary, it's really easy to get healthy. All you have to do is get the nervous system working, get the digestive system working, eat a good diet. Now, the nervous system controls everything. And this, I believe, is the missing link to all the research that's out there. Well, there's some in that area, but a lot of research never looks at the function of the nervous system. So right now, your brain is sending messages to your heart, your lungs, your liver, your spleen, your kidneys, your gallbladder. Everything is hardwired to the brain by way of a nerve, and 2 things can interfere with that flow of energy, chemical or physical. So chemical, we talked about a bologna sandwich taking an hour off your life. Is it worth it? I don't think so. So your diet has a direct impact on your nervous system. So every patient that comes in our office, we do a nutrition workup on. and we say, this is what you should be eating, this is what you shouldn't be eating. Again, you don't have to do it all at once, but at least have the knowledge. You might not be ready to hear the whole message, but you'll hear a little bit at a time and make a few changes. So the other thing that affects the nervous system is pinched nerves. How do you know if you have a pinched nerve? Neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, muscle weakness, shooting pain down your arms, down your legs, sciatic pain. These are all caused by pinched nerves. And in most cases, chiropractic is the most effective, least expensive treatment for pain. So if you are a pain patient, not being a pain in the neck, but if you have a pain in the neck, come see us. My doctors would love the opportunity to work with you. Go to our website, drjoe.com. You can book an appointment right online. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We'd love to be your doctors. You can book it right online. Normally, the first visit is $712. For our listeners, we've reduced that to $299. That's exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays on your follow-up visit, and a complete nutrition evaluation. Why wouldn't you do that? Makes no sense to me. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. We'd love to see you. We accept people with all insurances, no insurances, car accidents, sports injuries, workers' comp cases. I teach other doctors how to deal with car accident cases. So if you're in a car accident, come to the teacher. We'd love to be your doctors. If you ever get a call, it could be a scam call. Many times people get your police report off the internet and they'll say, hey, this is Bob from your insurance company. Come see this doctor and this attorney. That's a scam. No one will ever call you to tell you to go to a doctor. You can call us, and we'd love to be your doctors, especially car accidents. Come see us right away. If the car's damaged, you're damaged. That's my experience. drjoe.com. We accept Medicare. We accept so many different insurances. Gosh, I can't even list them all, to be honest with you. Please follow us on social media. Our handle is @DrJoeEsposito, and we'd love the opportunity to give you information every single day. We post every day. We have podcasts. You can attend our podcast live twice a week. We broadcast live on the internet, on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. I think we're on Twitch, Twitter. We're everywhere. So follow us on social media. Cost you nothing. You get a ton of information there. If you're a podcast junkie, just go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe for the Health of It. Dr. Joe for the Health of It is the name of our podcast, and you can get it from your podcast service. But on our website, it's just our podcast, we have over 3,000 hours of podcasts, video and audio. So if you're a video learner, you can do that. If you're an audio learner, you can listen. Whatever works best for you, we want to be your doctors. Even the VA, if the VA refers you to our office, the VA even pays for the service. So ask your doctor at the VA to refer you to our offices. We do accept VA patients. And if they refer you, they pay for all the treatment. So there's no reason to not want to get well and stay well. All the supplements we talked about, Super Green, Central Source, nitric oxide, vitamin D, all of those are on the website, drjoe.com. You can pick them up at our offices, Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb, or you can order them online. We only charge you what it costs us to ship them, so we're not making a big fortune on the shipping. Don't worry about that. Folks, if I don't say it enough, thank you so much. Tell your friends about the show. Please follow us on social media. Most important thing, make an appointment, drjoe.com.